We're giving all praises, glory, and honor to the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. Man, I'm gonna just take this moment, man, to go into this history of the Israelites, of our people, and just reflect on how we used to be versus how we are today. Man, once upon a time, man, our forefathers was mighty, leaders. They stood for things, man. They stood on business, as they say today. They was standing on business, man. And now, brothers is soft, man. You docile, you effeminate. You can't go a week without smoking a blunt. You can't go an hour without your cigarette. You need these different vices and different things, to keep you going, man. And, you know, brothers got to understand, man, we live by more than just food and water. Let me get that quick precept in the book of Matthew, chapter 4 and verse 4. It says, as it is written, man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceedeth out of the mouth of God. Right? So we don't just live by bread, water, entertainment. Right? We don't just live by folly, video games, sports, you know, music. We live by more than that, man. How did we get here? How did you end up in a land that you know not, that you don't understand, speaking a tongue that your forefathers did not speak, and you okay, man? You lax, you relaxed, you okay with it, man. It doesn't bother you that you don't know who you are, where you came from, what our people did. How did we end up slaves, right? And we gonna go into that, man, because at the end of the day, brothers need to understand where they came from so they can know where they're going. This is the book of First Maccabees chapter 2 and verse 57. And whosoever was found with any of the book of the testament or any committed to the law, the king's commandment was that they should put him to death. So we was in these different captivities. The people who we were under always knew that to remove our power, you remove the Most High God from us. You destroy our temples, you destroy our scriptures, you kill the mighty men with the scriptures, with the precepts, with the understanding, and then everybody else will run around like chickens with their head cut off. Right? As they say in the world, you cut off the head, and the body won't know what to do. It'll just stand there twitching, right? They'll scatter like roaches, as they say in the world, man. If they can separate us from the Most High God, right, they can leave us lacking of understanding, right? So what happened after that, man? After that, we turned into heathen. We turned into these a soft men, right? We don't have leaders among us, man. And this is how it happened. This is the book of First Maccabees, chapter 1 and verse 11. In those days went out thereof Israel wicked men who persuaded many, saying, let us go and make a covenant with the heathen that are round about us. For since we departed from them, we have had much sorrow. Right? So in nowadays, you exalt these men. You raise these men up. You deify these men. You glorify these men because they got a few $100,000. As they continue to show you that they can't do what they want with it, you glorify your Kanye Wests, your Jay Z's, your LeBron James, your P. Diddy's, right? These men have made a covenant with the enemy for a couple coins. They don't want to go through this thing that we have to go through in order to receive that salvation that we was promised from our power. They are paid to mislead you, to keep you away from the Most High God, to keep you distracted with bread and circus, right? They have helped the enemy, right? And this is what they helped them to do. Verse 15, and made themselves uncircumcised and forsook the holy covenant and joined themselves to heathen and were sold to do mischief, right? So now, whereas in the past, hey, it was mandatory to be circumcised by the eighth day. Our women, our fathers, our grandfathers, our grandmothers, our great grandmothers was teaching the holy covenant of the Most High God, right? We knew to stay away from the enemy, right? It says, and join themselves to the heathen. But look at this right here. This is what the Most High God said in the book of Sirach, chapter 12 and verse 10. It says, never trust thine enemy, for as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. Though he humble himself and go crouching, yet take good heed and beware of him. And thou shalt be unto him as if thou hast wiped a looking glass, and thou shalt know that his rust have not been altogether wiped away. Any man know you get the cast iron pot, you leave it around some water, you come back, it's rusty, right? Iron will definitely rust. So the enemy will definitely be wicked. Let's just go into that right quick, right? Look at these chains. We all know these chains was definitely, gray, coated, steel, but it surely rusts, right? We know for a fact that iron rusts. You know in the morning when you in that car, right? When you wipe the looking glass, as it says, if you don't clean it right, it fog right back up, man. Right? So it says never trust thine enemy. I'm gonna get another one on that. This is the book of Psalm, chapter 55 and verse 21. The words of his mouth were smoother than butter. Every man know when they come with, we call it finessing. They come through with the finesse words. What's going on, Johnny? What's up, Darius? He come up to you with the, hey, how's it going? How's the family? Man, you know he don't care about your family, man. You know he plotting on you. You know at the job he looking to snitch on you. We not tricked by this, man. We know what's going on. It says, but war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords. So your enemy always plotting on you, man. He always plotting on you, man. Don't trust nothing from your enemy. Your enemy, see, we don't follow the holy covenant no more. We forsaken the holy covenant, right? We forsaken our forefathers, man. But this is what our ancient forefathers did. This is how they did. You got to know them. You got to get to know your history, man. And your history is in this Bible. Soon as you start to understand the history of this Bible, right? This is what our forefathers said. This is First Maccabees, chapter 2 and verse 19. Then Mattathias answered and spoke with a loud voice through all the nations that are under the king's dominion. Obey him. He says, Salakia, though all the nations that are under the king's dominion obey him and fall away, every one from their religion of their fathers, and give consent to his commandments, yet will I and my sons and my brethren walk in the covenant of our fathers, right? Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, man. The covenant that the Most High God would dwell with them. The Most High God that delivered us out of Egypt. Our fathers knew not to forsake the Most High. They doing this today in America, man. Celebrate Christmas. Celebrate Thanksgiving, man. You know, dress like us, act like us, live near us. You know, take jobs with us. Don't go live on yourself on your own, do your own thing, raise your own family, and follow them scriptures. Don't read that Bible. Let us read it to you. Let us tell you what to think about it. This is our book, man. This is not for everybody. He said our fathers, not everybody's fathers. Right? This is verse 22. We will not hearken to the king's words to go from our religion, either on the right hand or on the left. Right? We will not go, right? This is our forefathers, man. You gotta go back and understood what they did, what they said, what they stood for, man. This is the book of Joshua, chapter 24 and verse 15. And if it seem evil unto you to serve the Lord, choose you this day whom ye will serve, whether the gods which your fathers served that were on the other side of the flood, or the gods of the Amorites in whose land ye dwell. Right? And today, or do you want to serve the God of America, white Jesus? Or do you want to serve Yahweh Bahashim, Yahweh Shah, the God of our forefathers, right? Who has the power to turn our captivity and get us out of here, man? In whose land ye dwell. You dwell among these people, you want to serve their God? Go ahead, man. Take your choice this day, man. You got to pick, right? But as for me and my house, hey, we going to serve Yahweh, man. We going to serve the Lord. And the people answered and said, God forbid that we should forsake the Lord to serve other gods. Your forefathers said, man, we not serving them other gods, man. They don't got no power. Here you are. Oh man, you know they eat Christmas dinner. I'm gonna eat it too. No, I gotta eat. Man, you serving another God. Who's the God of Christmas? Most High God didn't tell you to do that. Yet we got feast of dedication around the same time where we supposed to be in our brothers. Brothers don't got no zeal to do that. They want to walk with everybody else, right? This is the verse 17. For the Lord our God, He it is that brought us up out and our fathers out of the land of Egypt from the house of bondage, and which did those great signs in our sight, and preserved us in all the way wherein we went, and among all the people whom we passed. Right? I hear brothers say all the time, man, the Lord delivered me. Lord saved me from this. Yeah, but now it's time to do something for the Lord. You got no time for him. Right? You gotta take a pick, man. You can't do what everybody else do and expect a reward. I'm gonna go ahead and go into that, man. Cause I gotta break it down for brothers who don't understand. This is the book of Second Esdras, chapter 7 and verse 6. There is also another thing. A city is builded and set upon a broad field, and is full of good things. This city is a parable going into the kingdom of heaven, right? The entrance thereof is narrow. Brothers say, oh, why I can't smoke weed? I can't smoke weed and go celebrate Christmas. No, the entrance is narrow, You have to do the right things to get into this pathway, because there are always things trying to pull you off of that path. And is set in a dangerous place to fall, like as if there were fire on the right hand and on the left deep water. Right? So you walking on a path. It's like a tightrope. If you fall right, you're gonna burn. If you fall left, you're gonna drown. This is a narrow path. One wrong move, and you off the path. Right? Verse 8. And one only path between them both, even between the fire and the water, so small that there could but one man go there at once. So you got to be in a single file line, man, walking this path, right? So in this life, you have the narrow path, fire on the right, water on the left, tightrope line going straight down, right? Let's look that up real quick. Look at that, man. One wrong move, these clowns is dead. Look at that on top of a building. Look at that right there. One wrong move, this clown is dead. He playing with his life, right? That is the pathway to the kingdom of heaven. If this city now were given unto a man for an inheritance, which this city is actually given to Israel for an inheritance, to your fathers only. If you watching this video, you're more than likely an Israelite. This city is given only to your people for an inheritance. Do you want it? Or you good? You cool with your you feel good feeling from the blunt, or your 5 second relax from your cigarette, you know, or that sweet savor of that defiled swine's flesh, that pork chop, them shitlins, right? If this city were now given unto a man for an inheritance, if he never shall pass the danger set before it, how shall he receive this inheritance? And you know what you're doing? When things get stressful, you roll your blunt up, you're running from the danger, man. Well, you might say, "Oh, I'm tough. I ain't scared." You well, put the blunt down, brother. Quit. Deal with it like a man. Deal with the emotions. Deal with the feelings. Go through the ups and downs that you supposed to go through. Every time something get rough, Jake running to go smoke a blunt. Brother running to go smoke a blunt. Yeah, man, I gotta just relax, man. I'm too stressed out, man. Everything too tough. You soft, brother. Yeah, I ain't soft. You soft, brother. You can't deal with nothing. Anything come your way, you gotta go escapism. That's what weed is, man. It's escapism. Getting drunk, escapism. Your cigarette, escapism. Right? You gotta deal with these tribulations, these trials. That's what a real man do. You know, a real man don't get to run away when the bill pop up. You gotta handle that, man. What you gonna do when your kid's hungry? You gotta go out there and get that food, man. Oh man, I'm gonna just smoke my weed till some food. Brother, come on, brother. Right? And it is said, it is so, Lord. Then he said unto me, even so is Israel's portion, because for their sakes I made the world. right? And when Adam transgressed my statutes, when he decreed that now is done, then were the entrances of this world made narrow, full of sorrow and travail. They are but few and evil, full of perils and very painful. For the entrances of the elder world were wide and sure, but and brought immortal fruit, right? So now, after the transgression, which we transgressed to, Adam, was just the original in Genesis, in the beginning of the Bible, right? But we transgress every day, man. But our forefathers wasn't like that, man. Our forefathers was different. We nothing like them, man. Stop comparing yourself to your great granddaddy and your great 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 granddaddy. You soft. He was way tougher than you, man. You know, you having a form of godliness thereof. You know, having a form of godliness but denying the power thereof. Roughly paraphrasing. Let me get that actually. Mighty. This is a book of Second Timothy, chapter 3 and verse 5. Having a form of godliness, but denying the power thereof. From such turn away, right? And that's what you do, man. When you smoke your blunt, when you eat your poke, you know, when you sleep with other man's wife. You were born with a form of godliness, being an Israelite. Christ said, "Are don't ye know ye not that ye are gods?" Let me get that real quick. This is the book of John, chapter 10, and verse 34. Is it not written in your law? But brothers don't know that because they don't read the Bible. I said, ye are gods. Brothers want to serve these other gods. You want to go worship the God of Christmas and the God of things. You are a God. Open your Bible and receive the energy, the power that was bestowed upon you through the sacrifices of your forefathers, man, and walk that path. You are a God, brother. But you don't want your crown. You don't want the throne. You don't want to go through nothing. This path is narrow. And you know what gods don't do? Gods don't let vices control them, right? Gods don't eat pork, unclean animals. They eat turds and can't clean themselves and don't sweat and don't have sweat glands. This is what our forefathers did when they was commanded to eat pork, right? Slakia. Second Maccabees, not second Esdras. 6 verse 19. This is the book of Second Maccabees, chapter 6 and verse 18. Eleazar, one of the principal scribes, an aged man, right? And of well favored countenance, right? This is how you describe a man who's highly respected. One of the principal scribes, an aged man, he's an elder, and of well favored countenance, meaning when he come through, people respect him. Brothers want to be like him, and it's not weird to say that. Was constrained to open his mouth and to eat swine's flesh. He was like, nah, you know, you've seen it in your life, you know, certain things happen, certain people tempt you with something you ain't going for, and you give them that look or that don't play with me look, that nah, we ain't going for that. I die right here. Our forefathers would die right there rather than to eat a pork chop because that's transgressing the laws of our fathers, and they stood on that. You now, and they like, hey man, just transgress the laws of your fathers, go eat that pork. Con, I'm gonna be first in line. Shucking and jiving and buck dancing for butter biscuits, man. That's off. And it's soft, right? It's the book of Second Maccabees, chapter 6 and verse 19. But he, meaning Eleazar, choosing rather to die gloriously than to live strained with such an abomination. What would you die for, man? Would you die for your Lord? Would you die for your brother? Would you die for your son? Would you die for what you believe in? Brothers talk that talk, man, but they ain't walking that walk, you know? Spit it forth and came out of his own accord to the torment, as it behooved them to come that are resolute to stand against such things that are not lawful for the love of life to be tasted. Right? He not going for that. He stood on business. I would rather die than eat that pork chop. All he had to do was eat the pork, right? Verse 21. But they that had the charge of that wicked feast for the old acquaintance, they had with the old man taking him aside. And they pulled him to the side, right? And they besought him, and they trying to convince him to bring flesh from his own provision, meaning, hey, go get you some chicken breast, right? Such as was lawful for him to use, chicken breast, right? Steak, bison, lamb. They said, hey, go get your own provision. Go grab your own lamb chop. Bring it over, right? And make as if he did eat of the flesh, meaning act like you ate the pork. Just act like it. Taken from the sacrifice commanded by the king. Just act like you did what the king told you to do, Eleazar. This is how you know he was a mighty brother. Listen to this. That in so doing he might be delivered from death. Meaning we not gonna kill you if you act like you ate the pork. And for the old friendship with them that find favor, but he began to consider discreetly, and as became of his age, and the excellency of his ancient years, and the honor of his gray head. Meaning, man, I've lived a long life, right? Man, it was mighty the Most High God let me live this long. I was able to see gray hairs. He thought about his cousin, his brothers, his people that died along the way of his life. He reminisced, you know, whereon was come and his most honest education from a child, right? So everything he learned from a child, he thought about it for a split second. It says, or rather the holy law made and given by God, thereof he answered accordingly and willed them sightways to send him to the grave. He said, hey, y'all can go ahead and kill me right here. And if you listening, man, and you don't think that's standing on business, if you don't think that's mighty, something wrong with you. You got a malfunction in your brain. Man, if I see somebody, man, stand up and say, hey man, I would rather die than do this. All he had to do was act like he ate the pork. But that brother realized what it would do to his brethren, to his kinsmen, his children, to those under him. How it would look to them. One of our mightiest men ate a pork chop. He transgressed the laws of our fathers. So guess what? It's okay for us to do it. The man has so much honor, he would rather die than send that message to his people. right? That's just mighty as I sit here and think, man. And this is why I said this, going back to the original point. This is Book of Maccabees, chapter 1 and verse 57. And it said, and whosoever was found with the book of the testament, or of any committed to the law, the king's commandment was that they should be put to death. Right? So the king's commandment was designed to kill people like Eleazar. He was too mighty. We got to get them up out of here. They did the same thing in America when they separated the elders from the young in slavery. They didn't want you teaching them that. When they killed people they found reading the Bible. This is history you can find in America. When they removed all of the scriptures from the Bible except the ones that said be obedient to your slave master, right? And that only works if you already believe in the Bible. Somebody brought a foreign book up to you talking about, hey, this is the book of the gospel of the clown bozo. Yeah, follow these words in it. Man, you gonna look at that book and toss it behind you, man. That only works if you already believe the words written in that book, which goes to show you that our people were already spiritual. They didn't force spirituality on us. It's built in us. It's designed inside of you, right? Thus did they by their authority unto the Israelites every month, right? So every month they was killing people who they found keeping the laws, the scriptures, and that's how you ended up with this. Second Maccabees, chapter 7, Salakia. I think it's actually 6 and 6. Bear with me. Here it is. Neither was it lawful for a man to keep Sabbath days or ancient feasts, or to profess himself at all to be a Jew. So they made it illegal for you to call yourself, I'm a Hebrew Israelite from the tribe of Judah. I'm a Hebrew Israelite from the tribe of Benjamin. I'm a Hebrew Israelite from the tribe of Levi. I'm a Hebrew Israelite from the tribe of Issachar, right? This is how they turned us into Gentiles. And most of the people watching this are Gentiles. Right now, if I called you an American, you wouldn't be mad. If I called you black, you wouldn't say I was wrong. But black is not a nationality, it's a color. America is not a nationality, it's a place, right? You have China, then you have the Chinese who are from China, right? You have Israel, then you have the Israelites who are from Israel, right? But we are no longer in our land and we have lost our heritage. This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 17 and verse 4. And thou, even thyself, shalt discontinue from the heritage that I gave thee, and I will cause thee to serve thine enemies in the land which thou knowest not, for he have kindled a fire in my anger, or my anger which shall burn forever. Right? Now you've lost your heritage. You don't know who you are. You don't know what it means to be who you are. You look at the book that has all of the answers to your problems, but you won't read it. Like the scripture said, have a form of godliness, but denying the power thereof. You don't want it, right? And to trick you, this is one of the things they did to trick you, to get you off, right? Now they say, "Oh, this is a white man book. This is white. What you reading the white man book for?" Right? This is the book of First Maccabees, chapter 3, and verse 48. And laid open the book of the law, wherein the heathen sought to paint the likeness of their images. Right? So these heathen took all of the pictures of the judges, David, Solomon, Adam, Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, changed all their faces to white man. It's called iconoclasm. Let me look that up. Iconoclasm. The act of destroying images or monuments, usually religious or political reasons. Right? They did it in ancient Egypt. Carved faces, the noses. French revolutions, the faces of kings were defamed. The Reformation, the works of art, especially figurative images, were destroyed because they were considered contrary to the Bible. Right? So what they did was they said Black Jesus is contrary. Russian pictures of Jesus Christ. Look at that. Black man. It was common knowledge what Christ looked like, what the Israelites looked like, right? This modern day white Jesus was designed, was formulated, was pushed on you, but everyone knew. Look at this, is a real picture, 1500. Christ dark as can be in that picture. Look at that. 3200. Look at that. Got Christ and the apostles, dark skinned men. Okay. That was all designed, right? So going back to the point, and just trying to highlight what was going on and how we ended up in the position we in. We were so spiritual, man. Look at this right here. This is the book of First Maccabees, chapter 2, and verse 38. So they rose up against them in battle on the Sabbath, and they slew them with their wives and their children and their cattle to the number of 1,000 people. So we kept the Sabbath. We refused to work. We refused to buy or sell, right? We did according to as the law commanded, which was our heritage. Let me get that in Sirach 17:11. Besides this, he gave them knowledge and a law of life for an heritage. He made an everlasting covenant with them and showed them his judgments. Right? So they attacked us on the Sabbath day because they knew our customs was to follow the Most High God. Right? Now, this is what our forefathers did in response. At that time, therefore, they decreed, saying, whosoever shall come to make battle with us on the Sabbath day. Right? So before, our people was like, man, we got to keep the Sabbath. We're not going to fight back. And everybody know this, man. It's all good. Somebody come catch a cousin lacking. Now you at the funeral. You wearing his t-shirt. And you thinking in your heart, man, if I catch the folks that did this to cuz, I'm going to lay them down. Right? That's exactly what's going on here. At that time, therefore, they decreed, saying, whosoever shall come to make battle with us on the Sabbath day, we will fight against him. Neither will we die all as our brethren that were murdered in the secret places. They caught us once, they ain't gonna catch us again. Now listen to this battle cry, the mighty forefather, right? Verse 49. Now, when the time drew near that Mattathias should die, he said unto his sons, now have pride and rebuke God in strength, and the time of destruction and the wrath of indignation. Now, therefore, my sons, be ye zealous for the law. Right? Today we would say, hey man, we're gonna ride for that. right? And give your lives for the covenant of your fathers. And we gonna die for that, right? Hey, that's how our forefathers was getting down, man. Our forefathers was getting down in that thing, man. Not soft, man. This is the book of Second Maccabees, chapter 67 and verse, 2 and verse 67. Take also unto you all those that observe the law and avenge ye the wrong of your people. Hey, man, hey, man, they just got Meech, bro. Go get down D, and you gotta bring Pup, and then go get Tory, and man, we finna ride on them folks. And it killed Meech, bro. So he blessed them and was gathered to his fathers, right? So they said, man, these heathen and kill our brother, man. On the Sabbath day, they was resting, doing what the Most High God told them to do. We can't let that ride. If you telling me this is somebody other than the so-called black man today, I got questions for you. This we still move like this to this day, right? And then I'm gonna go into this last little breakdown and I'm gonna close out, man. It says, verse 51, call to remembrance the acts of our fathers did in their time, so shall ye receive in great honor and everlasting name. And we still do that today. Jake ain't letting nobody disrespect his name. Brother could be righteous, man. Walk up and smack that brother and watch and see if he don't do nothing. Because you disrespecting his name. His name will have a stain on it. We still like that to this day. Right? But right now, he like, man, my daddy was like this. My daddy was zealous for the law. My granddaddy was zealous for the law. My great granddaddy was zealous for the law. I'm disrespecting my whole lineage if I tap out right now. We ain't going for that, right? Verse 52, was not Abraham found faithful in temptation, and it was imputed unto him for righteousness? Joseph, in the time of his distress, kept the commandment and was made Lord of Egypt. And Phineas, our father, in being zealous and fervent, obtained the covenant of an everlasting priesthood. Jesus, for fulfilling the word, was made a judge in Israel. Caleb, for bearing witness before the congregation, received the heritage of the land. That's going back to the book of Judges and Joshua, coming out of the land of coming out of the wilderness. David, for being merciful, possessed the throne of an everlasting kingdom. David ruled after Saul, took the throne from Saul, and is prophesied to be ruling, right, underneath Yahushua when he returns. That's another lesson for another day. Elias, for being zealous and fervent for the law, was taken up into heaven. Ananias, Azarias, and Mishael, right? And a lot of y'all who went to church know this is Shack, Meshach, and Abednego. By believing, were saved out of the flame, right? Daniel, for his innocency, was delivered from the mouth of lions. And thus consider ye throughout the age, all the ages, that none that put their trust in him shall be overcome. Fear not the words of a sinful man, for his glory shall be dung and worms. And they were saying, man, we ain't scared. We ain't shook. Come on, man. That's the modern day black man. You can't scare no. Come on, man. Right? This is the book of Sirach, Ecclesiasticus, chapter 2 And verse 10, this is what they were saying in that last chapter. Look at the generations of old and see, did ever any man trust in the Lord and was confounded? Right? Was there ever anybody who said, you know, I'm going to keep the laws and commandments of the Most High God? I'm going to put my faith in the Lord, man. And he was made to look dumb? Even in your wickedness, he was like, you know what? I ain't got no money for rent. I'm going to trust in the Lord. Hey, man, he came through for you. And tell me he didn't. Right? And it says, or did any abide in his fear and was forsaken? Will you be done wrong if you put your faith in God? Or whom did he ever despise that called upon him? So for you brothers out here that's struggling with these least commandments, right? I'm gonna go to that, man. We're not gonna hold no punches. We're gonna go fully into it, man. It's a brother out here that need this, right? Book of Matthew, chapter 5 and verse 17. Think not that I am come to destroy the law or the prophets. I am come not to destroy, but to fulfill. For verily I say unto you, till heaven and earth pass, one jot or one tittle shall in no wise pass from the law, till all be fulfilled. Whosoever therefore shall break one of these least commandments, smoking that weed, eating that pork, committing adultery, right? Hating his brother, and teach men so. Man, it's all good. You can smoke your little weed here and there. No, ain't that bad. Man, you know, I got to have my herb. He shall be called least in the kingdom of heaven. But whosoever shall do and teach them, the same shall be called great in the kingdom of heaven. For verily I say unto you, that except your righteousness shall exceed the righteousness of the scribes and Pharisees, ye shall in no case enter into the kingdom of heaven. Right? Let's go back to Sirach, and I believe I'm gonna close out here. I think I've made my point. This is the book of Sirach, chapter 2 and verse 14. Woe, and woe means destruction, unto you that have lost patience. Man, I can't wait, man. You know, I gotta smoke me a blunt, man. You know, deifying the herb, man. Deifying the damn weed, man. What will ye do when the Lord shall visit you? Man, we in the last days, the third woe coming up. They kingdom about to be over. The kingdom of Jacob is about to be. Let me get that, man. Brothers don't know that. I'm gonna get it. It's the book of Second Esdras, chapter 6 and verse 9. For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. You know, their world is over. Our world is about to be begin, right? And this is what the scripture telling you. What will you do when the Most High God Yahweh sends Yahweh Shai to come visit you? Because they that fear the Lord will not disobey his word, and they that love him will keep his ways, and they that fear the Lord will seek that which is well pleasing unto him, and they that love him shall be filled with the law. Right? Not, man, you know, my God, don't let me slide, you know, eat, get out, it, that, and the third. No, you cared more about the weed. You cared more about the pork chop than the Most High God, man. You know, let me go to a couple chapters. I'm gonna close out probably two more scriptures in Luke. Through the Spirit and power of the Most High, the water Yahweh Shem Shai for, you know, the mighty, mighty scriptures that I was able to remember. Right? It says, this is the verse Luke verse 19 and verse 16. He said, Then came the first, saying, Lord, thy pound have gained 10 pounds. And he said unto him, Well, thou good servant, because thou have been faithful over a little, have thou authority over 10 cities. And that's a literal complete number of cities. 10 being a complete number in the scriptures. So this man in particular, let's go back up and give the sense. Nehemiah 8 and 8. And it came to pass that when he returned, having received the kingdom, then he commanded these servants to be called unto him, to whom he had given money. So he gave them money. He didn't give them actual money. He gave them understanding of the scriptures. And he said, Go feed my sheep, that ye might know, that he might know how much every man have gained by trading. Meaning, trade this word to people to help wake them up, right? Then the first came, saying, Lord, thy pound have gained 10 pounds. And that's what I want Christ to say to me, man. Yahweh Shem Yahushua say to me when he sent his son. Amen. I gave you a pound, you brought back 10 pounds. And he said unto them, Well, thou good servant, because thou have been faithful over very little, have thou authority over 10 cities. And the second came, saying, Lord, thy pound have gained 5 pounds. And he said likewise to him, Be thou also over 5 cities. Right? And another came saying, and this is what brothers say when they say, I want to smoke that weed, I'm gonna do what I want to do, I'm gonna fornicate, I'm gonna break all the commandments, and God's still gonna deliver me. Let's see what the scriptures say. Verse 20. And another one came saying, Lord, behold, here is thy pound. Remember, he gave them 1 pound. This brother giving him his pound back, which I have kept laid up in a napkin, for I feared thee, because thou art an austere man. Right? Let me go into austere right quick. He's talking to Christ right now. And people will tell you, Christ, oh, he gonna come give everybody a hug. Right? That's not what the Bible teaches, man. So you got to get these false doctrines out your head so you can be able to understand. Right? Let's go into austere, what that means. Right? It says, one mind of manners, harsh, rough, and rigid. It says Christ was austere, harsh, rough, and rigid. Meaning, hey, Christ wasn't playing no game. He wasn't no softy like they want you to believe, right? Thou takest up that thou layest not down, and reapest that thou didst not sow. And he said unto him, Out of thine own mouth will I judge you. Meaning you said it yourself. Thou wicked servant. He called him wicked, man. Right? Thou knewest that I was an austere man. You knew I was rough and rigid, taking up what I did not lay down and reaping what I did not sow. Meaning you do the planting, you do the running. I'm the big dog. Bring me mine. Right? Wherefore then thou gavest not my money into the bank, that at my coming I might have required thine with usury. I'm going to go into that word usury because I don't think brothers know what that means. Right? Going to that usury. It means interest. But I just want to go into it to prove it. Birth, the act of bringing forth, that which is brought forth, offspring. Interest of money, usury, because it multiplies money. So it's like an investment. I invested in you. I want it back more. Right? I don't want the same thing I gave you. Just like in the world and wickedness, a plug fronts you, right? He want back his cut. He want his profit. And this is even more righteous. Christ fronted you spiritual knowledge, spiritual understanding. He need that back. Run me that money. you know 24. And he said unto them that thou stood by, take from him thy pound and give it to him that have 10 pounds. Meaning he gave it to the dude that was able to double that, right? Verse 26. For I say unto you that unto every one that which shall be given, and from him that hath not, even that that he hath shall be taken away from him, right? He that hath not, even that he that hath shall be taken away from him. But those my enemies, which would not that I should reign over them, bring them hither and slay them before me. So those that don't want Christ to rule over him, bring them here. Let's go into slay, because I don't want you to just believe me, because he said bring them here and kill them. This is the words of Christ, man. These red letters, man. People don't understand this Bible. Bring them hither and slay. What does slay mean? To kill off, to slaughter. Christ said, bring them here and slaughter them before me, in front of me. Last one right here, man. Through the Spirit. Lord willing, this was edifying through the Spirit of power. Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. This is the book of Luke, chapter 12 and verse 45. But, and if that man say in his heart, my Lord delayeth in his coming, me, man, Christ ain't come back no time soon. I'm gonna talk this black man till, I see the sky crack, then I'll put it down. I ain't gotta, yeah, do that if you want to, man, right? This what the Bible, this what red letters, this what Christ himself got to say for you. But, and if that servant say in his heart, my Lord delayeth his coming, and shall begin to beat the men servants and the main servants, and to eat and drink and be drunken, meaning you lounging around. Hey, let me get some of that pork. Christ ain't coming back no time soon. Yeah. Give me a pork chop with gravy. Yeah. Give me that blunt. What's that, a gram? Put 2 grams in there. Right? You drunk off the wine of Babylon, man. Verse 46. The Lord of that servant will come in the day when he looketh not for him, and at that hour when he is not aware, he will come, he will cut him in sunder. I got to go into that, man. I got to go into that, man. His brothers don't know what cut him in sunder means. They don't know what that means, right? Let's see. Cut him in sunder. Will cut in sunder. It says, cut in 2 parts. A cruel method of punishment used by the Hebrews, and other of cutting one into 2. So he gonna slice you in half, and will appoint him his portion with the unbelievers. I mean, you gonna be cast with them who don't believe. No, I know my God, he know my heart. You're gonna be cut in half and cast away with those who don't believe. Verse 47. And that servant which knew his Lord's will, and prepared not himself, neither did according to his will, shall be beaten with many stripes. And in the world, we call that BTA. You're going to be putting that BTA. Fa, fa, fa on your backside, man. Let's look that up, man, real quick. Oh, they don't want to give me this. They don't want to give me the stripes, man. They don't want to give me the stripes, man. Let's see. Yeah, they don't want to break down the stripes for me. Let me see if they'll give it to me in the next stripe. The next verse. Okay, here go stripes. A blow, a stripe, a wound, a public calamity, a heavy. He gonna whoop your ass, man. That's what it's going into. Verse 48. But he that knew not and did commit things worthy of stripes shall be beaten with few stripes. For unto whomsoever much is given, of him shall be much required. And of whom men have committed much, of him they will ask more. Right? All praises to the Most High. All right. This is the last one. Luke chapter 12 and verse 37. Blessed are those servants whom the Lord, when he cometh, shall find watching. Verily I say unto you, that he shall gird himself and make them to sit down to meat, and will come forth and serve them. And if he shall come in the second watch or in the third watch to find them so, blessed are those servants. Right? Verse 35. Let your loins be girded about and your lights burning. Stay on fire in this thing. Stay on fire for the Most High God. Man, take these lessons and these messages, and Lord willing, they build you up, man, to understand that it's bigger, than a blunt, than some pork, than freaking off, man. It's major things. This whole world was designed for our lineage, our people, designed for us, right? And everything in this Bible is happening day by day. We live in the last days. Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Barak, Atah. Shalom, kings.